Why do you disagree?
So, as a trans woman, there's these things that we encounter.
Wait, you gotta speak.
There's these things that we call chasers. Okay.
Chasers.
Unironic. Named after Chase.
Wait,
Yeah.
like
Great.
No. Oh, not.
Chase.
I'm not saying this.
Alcohol? Are we talking about
No.
that?
I'm talking about there's like they're called chasers, like basically men who specifically seek out trans women for their genitals because they like the femininity, whatever.
Because they're gay.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Whatever. No. Let me finish. There's categories to this shit. There's categories to this shit, and let me finish. That's gay. You're going after for the chick with a dick. You want to play with her dick.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, but there's categories to this shit.
When you say it's gay, she doesn't get mad at you. But when I say it,
you are so ignorant.
But I'm saying there's categories.
Ignorant.
There's categories to
no
this
hope
shit.
For you. There really isn't.
There's straight categories to this shit.
Whoever marries
because
you.
if there can literally be a guy, let's say let's say for in some crazy world, or no, let's say fucking speaking like real world shit, whatever the fuck. Sorry.
Let's go.
So let's say let's say for you example, or let's say theoretically, I'm just using an example, okay? I'm not saying you in general, just use an example. You see a beautiful woman, she's like 5'4", she's like beautiful, and you didn't know that she was trans, and let's say she's fully operated. You find her attractive, right? You don't know she's trans. You're attracted to her femininity. And because you're attracted to her femininity, you didn't know that she was a guy. That's a completely different thing. That wouldn't make you gay to find her attractive.
Thank you.
But to have sex with her.
But to have sex is a little bit more different because some men can look past the fact.
So
can I weigh in on that real quick?
If you end up I know now you're saving yourself for marriage, but beforehand, if you found out that one of the people you had slept with actually was a biological male and
find that out right away.
Bruh,
it's not the same.
I'd be able to tell. And you also, you can tell.
It's not. Flip it inside out.
You can tell.
You can't make a vagina in the lab.
Listen,
I didn't know.
Listen to me, Kiko.
And
Ali.
Bruh,
as a man,
you think a guy wouldn't be able to tell a biological woman from somebody who's
you'd be a man.
From somebody.
You'd be a man.
If you're sober, seeing a biological woman versus somebody who's had their, down there hacked apart and re-sutured together.
Wow.
Listen,
bro, you'd be able to tell.
Listen. No, listen to me.
Dude.
Listen to me.
Something fucking else. I can't.
You can tell.
You guys, do you hear this, God? Do you hear how
What?
your people are?
He
He
does.
said don't
He
mutilate
does.
your body.
As a man, I can tell.
We can
I know.
remove religion from this conversation, but
But religion completely removed. All right. Last summer, I went to Thailand with my friend.
We already heard this.
There is 30% of the women, 30% of the men, I should say, convert into women, making 15% of the population ladyboys. All right? It's like a third gender because of how prevalent it is. Let me tell you, I know when they're a ladyboy. They're very convincing. They are very convincing. They get their Adam's apple shaved down. They get their jawline shaved down. They do everything to present themselves as a woman. Actually, the most expensive thing that they have to go through is getting their dick chopped off. And so they don't do that. But let me tell you.
Fucking done again. Dude.
As a man, I know that that's a dude. It doesn't matter how feminine they present themselves. It doesn't matter.
I want to know what specifically is making you upset.
Yeah.
It's just, I just can't believe that people.
You're upset because I know that trans women are.
I want to hear what she says. Why are you upset?
What I'm saying. It's just the laughing, the giggling, it's a joke to you guys, and this is people's lives. The people wake up like they don't feel like they're in the right body, and I work with kids, I've seen the children, it actually affects people, and the suicide rate in the trans community is already so high, and this podcast has so many fucking views, and you guys get up on here and just shit on them and just laugh all fucking time. It's hateful as fuck. Just let them fucking live their lives.
That's not
if they're
what
not choosing, if they're not bothering you, if they're not trying to trap you into sleeping with them, just let them live their fucking lives. They're not bothering you. Why does it affect you so much?
Okay, those are good questions.
No, it's ridiculous.
Please,
grow up,
please,
mature.
Please let me respond to you.
Go ahead.
Please let me respond to you. Those are good questions. Why do we care so much if it affects us? And also, calling out the insensitivity. Look, I have I don't know what it would be like to wake up every day and to feel like I was born in the wrong body, okay? I don't know what that would be like. And for people that are in that position, I have compassion for them. I can't imagine.
You don't. If you had compassion, you wouldn't be doing half the shit you're up here doing.
Laughing,
so don't fucking
I'm
lie.
laughing at how callously he's saying
no, you've been laughing at all podcasts at jokes. What were the jokes you laughing at about?
Please just let me respond. have compassion for people that are in that position, okay? And people like that need help, okay? And our society has different philosophies in terms of how we can help people like that. You have like people on the left that want to do so-called gender affirming care, in which people do get operations where their bodies end up mutilated, and a lot of people end up severely regretting it after the fact, and those people end up suicidal. I read their stories all the time. Stories of men.
Detransitioners exist, but that's not.
Hold on. Let me just make my point. I read a story on Twitter a few months ago of this guy who had his penis surgically removed, and he woke up every day and was horrified at the decision that he had made with his life, and he wanted to kill himself. And the reason why someone like me cares is because this ideology, you say let these people live their lives. How does it affect you? This ideology is penetrating all across our society, and kids are now becoming propagandized with this.
The kid that you were talking about would have never thought that way before if they weren't exposed to it at a very, very young age.
She just said that she had no idea what that term was.
Let me just finish my point, and you guys can respond. If you look at the statistics of people that identify as LGBTQ right now compared to previous generations, it is exponentially increasing, because it's not just people living their lives. It's kids going to school, public schools, and their teachers telling them, hey, yeah, you can be a boy if you want to. Hey, yeah, you can be a girl if you want to.
People learn that they wouldn't get
Kiko, please
killed.
hold on. Please, I will.
You're
I will
long-winded,
listen.
sorry.
I will listen to what you have to say. I'm making important points here. Kids in that position, when they're being told by authority figures, hey, yeah, you're actually a girl, those kids then are getting funneled towards getting irreversible procedures done, and irreversible hormone therapy and puberty blockers and all this kind of stuff.
Puberty blockers are
and it completely stunts people's development irreversibly, okay? And you can go off of them.
As soon as you stop off
you can
puberty blockers,
go
your
off
puberty will begin, yeah.
you can go off of them, but it changes people's
It will. I
development.
did research all day on this actually, so don't correct me on that.
Okay.
I made a video on this for a news company, but
The
continue.
the point is, it is affecting a lot of people, and a lot of it is propaganda as well, and it is changing people's lives irreversibly, and children are ending up mutilated as a result of it. And on top of that, a lot of these transgender procedures and surgeries do not significantly affect the suicide rate. A lot of those people still are suicidal after the fact, and it's not care that's effective.
So
You understand what I'm saying?
I think that there should
Why
be
I care about this?
there should be, I don't think that you should just be like, one day be like, oh, I believe I'm a woman, I believe I'm a male, and you should be able to walk in and just get procedures or get hormone blockers or
Do you
get
think
things.
kids should be able to be
No.
propagandized in school? About it?
Propagandize, that's a very strong word.
Teachers telling
I feel-
8-year-olds you can
if
be a girl
teacher
if you
is
want.
saying,
Is that
if
okay?
a teacher is telling kids it's okay to feel the way they're feeling, I think that is important. Yes. No, I don't think they should be saying, oh, you need to, change
It's not
genders.
just
There's
teachers
also
telling
a
them
very
it's
big
okay to feel the way you
difference, though,
feel.
in a teacher comforting a kid and be like, you know what? It's not that they're shaming, but like, you know what? It's okay. I understand, whatever. But if a teacher's purposely going out of their way to be like, explain that kind of stuff, okay, yeah, I get it.
Not for a
but
classroom.
if I, for example, if I was let's say
Closer to the mic.
rewind to 10 years ago when I was like 12 or 11, whatever. Let's say if I went to my teacher, my counselor, and be like, you know what? I'm having these feelings, and I don't know if they're right or not. And if she would have been like, at least, I'm not saying, she's not encouraging me, but she's like, you know what? She's not, what's the word? She's not discrediting me either. She's not shaming me. She's not doing anything else. There's a big difference between the two.
But I don't think it's a teacher's place, and hopefully we can all agree with this. Sex and body images and identification should not be the teacher's place. That's between parents, and I think there's a big problem with the way that it's targeted our children in schools and the way that the government has become the parents for society. So I think there are two very unique issues, and I think after 21 or 18, whatever, if you can go buy a handle of tequila, you can technically, legally do what you want to your body. But should you is a very different
So under
conversation.
18, you need parents' consent to do any of this, unless you're illegally consenting it. I looked up all day, the last 2 days since I knew it was coming back, I looked up this all day and
They're
night.
trying to
How-
change those laws.
There's also
and I don't agree with
situations
that.
where the parents can be divorced and they only need one parent to consent.
Yeah, and that,
And they
I,
can-
that's, I
And
think
and
that's,
it's an
against the other
8-year-old.
parent's will.
I would say that's wrong. I would say that's
feel-
innately wrong. I would think you need a parent's consent, but they're not. I think his name was DeSantis or whatever from Florida, is making
Ron?
it seem like
Good old Ronald
DeSantis?
DeSantis.
The governor of
DeSantis,
Florida?
Yeah, sure. He's making it seem like everyone's just going out here and just getting all these mutilations and gender reconfirming surgeries. That's not happening. The numbers are very, very low. The only one that is becoming kind of prevalent is double mastectomies, because it's really hard for them to stop that, because it's an actual medical procedure, so it's hard for them to block that from happening. But kids aren't just getting gender reforming surgeries. And I'm not pushing for that to be, but that's not a problem we have right now.
The trans
don't worry
community
about it.
is
It's not a problem.
all of them, of course, but there is a large group of people who are pushing this, like the Pride Parade. Ron DeSantis just canceled. He said you will be charged. It will be illegal to sexualize children. Do you have a Pride Parade? There's no nudity, none of this. They canceled the Pride Parade because they said we will not be able to do what we want to do, which is sexualize children. So I think it goes hand in hand because people know that the children are the future of this country. And if you want to shove ideology down our throats, you do it with the children and you take away the parental rights in school and parental decisions. At the end of the day, the kids are the most important part of society. And I hope at the very least we can all agree that when you're an adult and you have your own decisions on your own body, you can do what you want and what you truly believe in. But why should a parent even be able to consent to their 12-year-old getting hormone change or getting on puberty blockers? If an adult, my mom could not consent to me drinking.
So
a
you
handle
can't start
of tequila
hormones
at
until you're
15.
14. You can't start hormones until you're 14.
Okay.
That's how it is. You can do puberty blockers before that point because puberty blockers are reversible. It's the minute you stop puberty blockers, you will go through your natural biological puberty. The only side effects we know right now is it might affect maybe your cholesterol or your bone density, but you will go through all your puberties once you stop puberty blockers.
But why would you
hold
start
on,
and
Sam,
then
Sam,
stop?
Really quick.
Because-
I don't think I just want to check you a little bit on this. I don't think puberty blockers are reversible.
They are 100%.
I
looked this
don't
up
think
all
so
day.
either, but I'm
I
taking
looked
your
this up
word
all
for it.
day.
I've heard many times that they're not.
I've looked this up please do not discredit me because as soon as I knew I was coming on, you invited me back on, I spent a lot of time
It's
researching
still-
this.
it's still-
They are reversible. Hormones? No. Hormones are not reversible. You will see the changes go away if you stop taking them. But puberty blockers are 100%
Going
reversible.
through
They
puberty
just
at
stop.
14 versus 17 or 20 is a very big difference, though. I don't know.
But it just
That's not
delays
biologically.
puberty. It just
You
delays your
can't
puberty.
delay
why
a
would you
natural
wanna-
biological function, though.
That's what a puberty blocker is.
Why
And
would
that's
you wanna-
toxic,
There's
poisonous,
everyone,
big pharma pills.
everyone, please,
GnRH is what it's called.
Kiko, please. There is a larger overarching point here, okay? Which is that 10 years ago, if you spoke to somebody and you said, hey, yeah, 10 years from now, like a bunch of kids are going to want to become trans, they would have been like, yeah, you're out of your mind. That's not happening. And look where we are now. Kids, there's millions of views on TikToks from these trans people that are telling kids things that are giving them gender dysphoria. Teachers in schools have rainbow flags up on their walls, and they're it's not just kids.
A rainbow flag
Hold
is
on.
going to make a kid be trans.
Please just listen, okay? Please just listen. There's a difference between what you were saying a moment ago, which is like, you know, if you had gone to a counselor and you had gender dysphoria and them hearing you and just like being like, hey, like I hear that you feel that way. There's a difference between that and a kid going to a teacher and being like, hey, you know, I have this confusion about my gender, and the teacher being like, yeah, well, you can be a girl if you want to, because that's what's happening right now. And to what Deborah was saying a few moments ago, this is a tide that is quickly rising in our society. And 10, 15, 20 years from now, who knows how much access kids will have to these surgeries? Who knows how many millions of kids are going to be mutilating their bodies because of this ideology? It is just continuing to grow and grow and grow and grow. And it's not stopping. A couple of years ago, the World Health Organization released guidelines for European educators instructing them to teach kids between the ages of 2 and 8 years old about masturbation and gender fluidity. There's an intentional agenda to push this trans ideology on humanity right now. And you say right now it's not as big of a problem as people make it out to be, that these surgeries are super rare. What about 20 years from now? Where is all of this going?
I'm not saying there
And
shouldn't be regulations in place.
How big of a catastrophe is this going to be for our entire civilization? I know you think it's hateful. I know you think it's hateful for me to like speak against this and be intolerant and all of this kind of stuff. The reason I'm doing it is because there are serious human casualties as a result of this, and I speak up against all of this out of love. Who's died? All of the people that have gotten transgender surgeries and then regretted it and killed themselves after the fact.
How about all the people
That's
who have
who's
been
died.
prevented from getting the help they need? And killed themselves
Transgenders
because of
have
it?
the same
thing.
suicide rate as Jews in Nazi Germany in concentration camps. You can't tell me transgenders in America are treated worse than Jews in Nazi Germany, and the suicide rate is the same before and after gender transition surgery.
Exactly.
But listen, I have a different take on
Meaning
this.
that it makes no
I don't
difference.
say this stuff because I want to be offensive or hateful or get clicks or views. I think that this is a very sensitive issue, and just like abortion, it needs to be spoken with the highest level of respect and sensitivity, because I feel for these people. I can't, like you said, I can't imagine what it's like to be at war with my own body and to not feel comfortable with my own body. I've dealt with insecurities. I couldn't imagine it being deeper than that. I truly feel for these people, and I want them to receive the care that they need on an individual basis. But when it comes to children, we need to protect children from
Yes.
this ideology.
Yes.
And I think those are two very different issues that get conflated together. Like, oh, if a 35-year-old wants to do whatever they want, that's up to them. But speaking on children, nobody under 18 should be mutilating their body, even if their parent consents, because they're children. I think your brain's not
never said
developed
they
till you're
should.
25.
So
I
what
know,
is
that's
the
what I'm saying. That
argument?
I think
No
a
one
lot
ever
of the
said that here.
argument comes from people talking about different things. Like, we're talking about kids a lot, and I think we need to clarify
I
that.
know you never said that they
Wait,
should,
Chase,
but
Chase,
there's a
hold
lot
on.
of people who want that for kids.
Okay, that's what we're talking
Hold
about
on.
here.
You wanted to go.